Lexi here from Quite Hot Inspiration with my first ever video log, or as I like to call it, vlog. It's a new series I'm starting on the blog. I'm going to take skills and recipes that the home cook might think are intimidating or complicated and shy away from, and show you that there are skills and recipes that are well within your reach. For the inaugural vlog today, we will be making homemade mayonnaise, mainly because homemade mayonnaise is delicious. So you're going to start with a large bowl. If it's heavy, that's better. You're going to be doing a lot of whisking, so it won't be moving around. If it's not heavy, I don't really need this because this bowl is pretty heavy, but you can take a cloth and dampen it. And then you open this cloth up and set it between your worked surface and your bowl, and it will act as a non-slip pad. You can use a paper towel if you're not into saving the earth like we are, or a dishcloth. And then you're going to start with an egg, specifically an egg yolk. You want your egg yolk to be room temperature because mayonnaise is basically an emulsification between an egg yolk, oil, mustard, and an acid like lemon juice or vinegar. And if your egg yolk is at room temperature, it will emulsify more easily. Sorry about that, wash my hands. Next, you're going to take 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard and add those to the egg yolk. If your egg yolk is not room temperature, what you can do is set it in a cup of hot water for about 5 minutes, and then at the end of 5 minutes you will have a room temperature egg yolk. That would be helpful if you were not planning on making mayonnaise until you saw this compelling and delicious vlog. So what you want to do is take your whisk, and you're going to want to whisk your egg yolk and your Dijon mustard together, and you're looking for them to be perfectly combined, smooth, a little creamy. This should take like 15 to 20 seconds. So whisk, whisk, whisk them together, and then comes the real work, which is not actually that hard. You're going to add the oil, and what you want to do is you're going to want to add about a cup of oil. You can use any type of oil. Keep in mind that this is the main ingredient, so whatever oil you use, that's what your mayonnaise is going to taste like. If you use a really strong oil, like straight up olive oil, your mayonnaise is going to taste like straight up olive oil. So I like to use a combination of a milder oil like vegetable oil and a stronger flavored oil like extra virgin olive oil. So I use about 3 parts vegetable oil to 1 part olive oil. So, and that might seem like a lot of oil, but this is the base of your mayonnaise. Add your olive oil. Sometimes I find that it takes a little bit less than 1 cup of oil. It's more important that you get the right consistency, less important that you use every drop of your cup of olive oil. So what you're going to do is now you're going to start whisking by hand, and you want to add it's an emulsification, so if you've ever made a salad dressing or something, you'll be familiar with this. You just want to add the oil really slowly, like at the beginning, a drop at a time, and you want to whisk until it's incorporated before you add any more oil. So you're going really slowly at first. As it gets more combined, you can add the oil a little bit faster, but slow and steady wins the race of making mayonnaise. So I'm making it by hand, obviously. Some people like to make mayonnaise in a blender or a food processor, which I totally get because then you don't have to get this arm work out. But I like to make it by hand because if you know me in real life, you know I like to be in complete control of everything that I do. And I find that you just have more control when you're making it by hand than you do when you're making it so quickly in the food processor or the blender. But if you want to make it by hand, that's fine. If you want to make it on the food processor or the blender, that's fine. You can do that. Save your arm muscles for something else, like the spikes. So you're adding the oil, and as it's getting incorporated, it's starting to form kind of like a thick, not a paste, it's a thick and creamy mixture, like a really thick salad dressing. And that's exactly what you're looking for. So you might be wondering why you would make homemade mayonnaise when you can walk right over to your refrigerator and get out a jar of mayonnaise and just use that and not have to whisk this oil in. I totally get that. As a good Southern girl, I have both a jar and a backup jar of mayonnaise in my house. But once you've made homemade mayonnaise, you will realize that the flavor is so far superior to the flavor of anything you're going to get out of a jar. Basically like anything you make yourself versus something you buy at the store. And if you make homemade mayonnaise, some things you can use it for. We like to use it to dip our French fries in. I spent some time in Belgium as a child and with my mom, and the Belgians eat their fries dipped in mayonnaise, so that's a habit that my mom brought back to the States with her, and I have since retained into adulthood. When Hugh and I first met, he was completely and totally repulsed by this, but now he's come over to the dark side and realized that fries dipped in mayonnaise are delicious. Another thing we use our mayonnaise for is one of our favorite appetizers. We like to steam an artichoke, as you can see back here, and then chill it, and then you can peel the leaves off, and when you're eating them, you dip them in this delicious mayonnaise. I find that times you want to use mayonnaise, homemade mayonnaise, are when you're making something where mayonnaise is really one of the main flavor components. If mayonnaise is on a long list of strongly flavored ingredients, like if you're making a dip, like fried onion dip or a pimento cheese, you are probably going to want to just use mayonnaise out of the jar. I think the nuances of flavor get lost when you're using, switching arms by the way, when you're using so many strongly flavored ingredients, the nuances of homemade mayo get lost. But if you're using making something like lobster roll, which let's be honest, anything you put with lobster is going to taste delicious, but the homemade mayonnaise just really makes that shine. Or if you're making a homemade chicken salad, then this mayonnaise is really great in that. Okay, we're getting close, and as you can see, I still have a good bit of oil left, about 1/4 of a cup, but it's, like I said, it's more important that you get the right texture than it is that you use up your whole cup of oil. So another thing you can do with the mayonnaise is you can add flavors to it. For instance, basil, and then you'll have a basil aioli, or you can add like pureed roasted red peppers. You'll have a red pepper mayonnaise. You can add, as my videographer is saying in the background, you can add shark meat, and you'll have a shark meat mayonnaise. If you add garlic, you'll have a classic aioli, which basically you would take this recipe, mince up a clove of garlic, and add it, and then you have aioli, which is probably what we'll do when we get finished with this little vlog and eat our mayo. So right now we have the consistency we're looking for, so I'm going to walk over there and show you what it looks like. It's beautiful. And just so you can know what you're looking for when you're making it yourself. So, and you can see it's creamy, it's luscious, it's a little bit looser than a jarred mayonnaise, but this is the texture you're looking for. So now what you want to do is add your acid. Oh, the hard work is done, by the way. So you want to add your acid, and you can use, again, like a vinegar. You want to use something that's not going to change the color, like a white wine vinegar. I mean, I guess you could, if you want brown mayonnaise, you could add balsamic vinegar. But I like to use lemon juice. So you need about a tablespoon of acid, and 1 lemon has about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in it, unless you have some mammoth lemon or micro lemon. But so half a lemon's about 1 tablespoon. Again, a room temperature lemon will give you the most juice, as you might have learned in my husband's first guest post on cocktails. If your lemon's not room temperature, you can roll it under the heel of your hand, and that will release more juice. So just want to squeeze your juice, and I like to just do it over my hand, catch the seeds, and then put that in your handy dandy garbage bowl. And now you're going to whisk the lemon juice in, and again, you're going to whisk it until it looks smooth. The texture will obviously be a little bit runnier because you're adding more liquid, but primarily, you know, it should look the same. It should be well incorporated. Now you want to add your salt, anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 teaspoon, depending on how salty you like your mayonnaise or how salty your mustard was. Again, this is one of those things that you just want to do to taste. So get that incorporated, and now we're going to give it a little taste. Tasting spoon. That's really good. A little bit more salt, shocking. Okay, get your salt in, get it all mixed up. And from here, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want with it. You can add anything to it. You can put it on a BLT for the best BLT you ever had in your life. You can add some garlic, make aioli. It's all up to you. So that concludes our first ever White Hot vlog. I appreciate you tuning in, and if you want this recipe, you can find it on the blog, or as I'll probably start calling it now, the blog, whitehotinspiration.blogspot.com. And I hope you'll check back next time for more White Hot inspiration. Thank you.